The St. Louis Blues. They own the longest consecutive playoff appearance streak in pro sports. But this season may be their best chance ever to win the cup. A defensive trio, maybe the best in the National Hockey League. They play in front of a goaltender who already owns 5 Stanley Cup rings. They make this team as dangerous as any contender in the West. Their drive begins next. National Hockey Night's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs in St. Louis, where the fans are hoping maybe this year the St. Louis Blues open up against the Los Angeles Kings. Welcome to the Kiel Center, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. The Los Angeles Kings, they are the underdog in this series. For the St. Louis Blues, a big season of improvement, good enough to get home ice for the first 2 games here in the first round. Bill Clement, the St. Louis Blues, a tough team on paper and on the ice.
I think they're a decided favorite, and I know that in both uniforms, both sets of uniforms, there are going to be unsung heroes, but we can't identify them yet. Before a series starts, you talk about the big players on both sides. For St. Louis, none bigger than their captain, Chris Pronger. The best adjective to describe the kind of season Chris Pronger had this year is dominant. To me, he is the best defensive defenseman in the game today. And for the first time in just about a decade, Brett Hull did not lead the St. Louis Blues in goal scoring. Jeff Cornell did that. I think Los Angeles Kings are going to concentrate on anybody besides Brett Hull. Yeah, they got to stop everybody, but they will start by focusing.
Hello.
How's your butt ice? Doobie, doobie.
It's the 3rd one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello.
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
Sir?
He never let me wear the mask.
Unable to stop Rod Brindamore, goaltender Lee Worley turns to a life of crime.
What are you in for?
Brindamore.
Nice man.
I couldn't stop him!
He came in so strong, getting up. Stick save! Beautiful! Stick save! God!
Thanks for coming, Don. No problem, kid. Keep your catching glove up.
I couldn't stop him!
Let me wear the mask.
No.
Thanks very much, and welcome back, everybody, to the Kiel Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Goaltenders, there couldn't be a much greater disparity. Stefan Fiset will be starting in net, the 27-year-old. Career playoffs?
A handful. Grant Fuhr, a bushel or 2 full. So on paper, at least, historically, or at least if you're looking at history, a huge advantage here for St. Louis. But we will reassess after game 1.
Greg Conroy will take the face-off in white for the St. Louis Blues. Won back by Joseph Stumple. Los Angeles in their black and gold uniforms, road uniforms. They've got the puck first. Siplikov on the near side. Siplikov dumped it off the boards. Pass into the middle, intercepted. Then it'll be swung back out through center. Off Johnson into the other end. Rob Blake will come back to get it. Blake in behind his own net. Pellerin up on the forecheck. Held in far side by Pronger of St. Louis. St. Louis gets the first chance. Ripped wide near side Pellerin. Pellerin trying to go to the point. Had it taken away. Knocked away to center by Siplikov. We'll get our first line change here. Pronger was backing it up. Came through center. Knocked away at center ice on the attempted reception there by Greg Johnson. Big hit near side. Up and down they go in a hurry. Glenn Murray. Murray, 27, took a couple of bumps there for Los Angeles and leveled one himself.
Well, you know, one of the things St. Louis talked about this morning, Barry Melrose mentioned that LA has to try to pound St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis wants to kind of deliver a preemptive strike here and beat LA to the hitting game. They think they can match them there.
And Rayum sent it back into the zone. Sean O'Donnell trying to clear it out of there does. The big factor in this series, at least at the beginning, seems to be, can Los Angeles shut down the transition game of St. Louis? St. Louis can move the puck as well as anybody in the National Hockey League out of their end. That's why St. Louis had such a great season.
And we will have some very pronounced matchups. There is Joseph Stumple, career year, a terrific year, and is turning into just a dominant center. But for the first time in his career, he is the man. You the man, Joseph, and this is the series where you can shine. However, the big obstacle standing in Stumple's way will be Chris Pronger. He led the NHL with an astounding plus 47. He was on the ice for 47 more goals scored at even strength than his team scored than the opposition. And keep in mind, he played against the best line every game, game after game after game.
The two Courtnall brothers will go at it in this game. Russ Courtnall for Los Angeles out there now. It is cleared back into the zone on the far side. Big hit put on. Jan Volpat over there got level up against the boards is all right. Cleared back into the zone. Al McGinnis working on D here. Takes it in behind the net. McGinnis with Todd Gill. These are two of the fine defensemen who moved that puck out so quickly. Opening in the middle. Shot. Score! Just what we were talking about. Pavel Demitra.
Wow. Well, the LA Kings were trying to set up a trap. And the quick pass absolutely beat the trap. I mean, when you see the play over in this corner here, Luc Robitaille is going to come into the middle of the ice and try to channel everything to this side. But you saw the quick pass beat him all the way to this side. They were trying to channel to the other way, and it didn't work at all. All of a sudden, a quick 2-on-1 developed for St. Louis. And Demitra, who is going to be a key guy in this series, if the Kings are successful in shutting down Brett Hull and Pierre Turgeon, this guy Pavel Demitra and his second line with Jeff Courtnall, who led the Blues in scoring, will be a big, big factor.
There was that transition game as the St. Louis defense moved the puck up on two quick passes. They ended up in a 3-on-2 break. And Pavel Demitra in his 7th playoff game in his career gets his second playoff goal and a 1-0 St. Louis lead. That one brought in offside. The goal coming at 1:42. Pavel Demitra gets it. Courtnall and McGinnis get the assist.
That's a dangerous pass to make for most defensemen except Al McGinnis. And by the time he sprung Courtnall and Demitra loose, and believe me, it was Demitra's speed that made this happen. I mean, Demitra came through the neutral zone beside a couple of Kings and just flat out pulled away from him.
Pavel Demitra, many around St. Louis feel, is the most improved player on the team this season. He has become a real factor, only 23 years old. You can see goals during the first minute. LA against 3, the fewest in the league. St. Louis 14 most in the NHL. Fuhrer the save. Rebound kick to the point blank. That one was ripped high and wide on Grant Fuhrer. Held into the corner by Bilesma. Bilesma will dump it back in behind the net, or at least try to get deflected near side Turgeon. Turgeon cleared that one out of the zone. Hull came over to get it. Hull got knocked down in the zone, but St. Louis will control. Steve Duchesne. Duchesne left it for Turgeon. Turgeon hit by Biles. Brought in onside. LA was changing up behind the play. LaPerriere gets stood up at center. Another quick pass by Duchesne to get it out to Blair Atchedam. Atchedam sends it back into the corner. Turgeon turning to the middle. Turgeon took the big hook. Got spun around over there by Courtnall. Turgeon in. Turgeon held it. Couldn't get a shot off the late whistle. McElpine out at center, but Terry Gregson, 17th year as an official in the NHL. Our referee tonight, Greg Dvorsky. Ray Scapinello, the senior NHL official. Scapinello, those are the men working the game, and a power play coming.
Well, the LA Kings did not take Pierre Turgeon the way they wanted to. Ian LaPerriere with a hook. I mean, the way to take Pierre Turgeon is to smack him, hit him. Mind you, he is really shifty, and he's got a lot of hesitation moves. He's not that fast, so he's hard to line up. As he danced out of the corner, here he is here. See his little spin off? He actually spun off Sean O'Donnell and then headed for the net. He was able to pull away from Ian LaPerriere. Now, the St. Louis Blues on their power play, something to behold. I'll tell you what, when they get it wound up, and they have the ability to do that, can really put up some numbers. This is an area that LA has to be careful of. They cannot take any unnecessary penalties in this series.
LaPerriere hooking at 2:58. Already down 1-0. The Los Angeles Kings are shorthanded. Power play this year, you see for St. Louis, 9th in the National Hockey League, while LA was 19th and cutting them off. Turnaround shot deflected into the corner. That one by Pavel Demitra, was looking for his second. Power play for the St. Louis Blues. Al McGinnis works at a point with a big cannon. Demitra in the middle. Dropped it off, deflected. Demitra held it in. Second attempt to clear it out. Doesn't go. Was blocked again. Volpat tried to clear. Couldn't do it. This time McGinnis holds it in. Back to Duchesne. His shot. Save. Rebound. Net's open. Shot. Great save for save. That one looked like goal number 2 as Jeff Courtnall had the shot coming through the middle.
Well, the St. Louis Blues are so dangerous, not only because of forwards like Jeff Courtnall, but because of the dynamic duo that they have back on the blue line. Al McInnes and Steve Duchesne. On our ESPN pre-play, we're going to take a look at why they're dangerous. There is Al MacInnis. What does he bring? Well, the huge cannon. Meanwhile, Steve Duchesne's over here very often. When the play comes from the corner, you'll see Duchesne do some things that I don't even think he premeditates. I mean, hard to defend against Duchesne when he sneaks in behind all the penalty killers. When he just makes it up on the go. He's one of the greatest freelance players, and MacInnis is one of the great shooters of all time.
On the power play for St. Louis, Brett Hull leads them with 10 power play goals during the regular season. There's MacInnis and Duchesne, both along the blue. Wide open far side. Pass didn't go through. Knocked down. Great effort made by Nordstrom for LA, but he couldn't clear it out of the zone. Second attempt, and it's out of there. Joseph Stumple. Short-handed, the Kings. They'll not get a chance. Both teams make changes here. Power play underway. Minute 11 left on it for St. Louis. Blues already have the 1-0 lead in this game. Rayum, Hull, and Turgeon up front of the power play for the Blues. That one a little too much dangling along the line. Intercepted, brought back up to Courtnall. Courtnall save made by Fior. Kicked back in behind the net. Again, another big breakout. Hull moves it in. Hull drops it to Turgeon. MacInnis is open in the middle. Pass behind the net, intercepted by Blake, by Pronger, but it goes off the Los Angeles bench. He had the fewest goals in a season in his career, Brett Hull, but he led the league in April in assists, and I've got to believe that has never happened before. Why? It's a different season for Brett Hull. He is in love with his coach.
He's never been happier. I mean, there was some great coverage here in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch in the newspaper, and in one little article, Brett Hull was quoted as saying, "This is Eden, as in the Garden of." I mean, that's about as good as it gets, I would say, although I never visited the place. I don't know if Brett did, but he's happy.
He loves, as do all the players, Quenneville's way of handling the players. The 90s kind of coach he's called, and it has indeed worked for them. Power play still underway. Pronger on top shot. Oh! Fasay once, twice, turn around down low. No chance on the shot for Gill. Stefan Fasay is holding the fort. Just his 7th playoff game ever. Courtnall wide on Fasay. Fasay's had to make a couple of big saves on this power play for the Blues. 20 seconds left on the St. Louis advantage. Todd Gill partially blocked. Intercepted. Courtnall scores! Jeff Courtnall!
Wow, did he rip that. A broken play that left Fizet with nothing more than a laser beam going by him. Man, did Courtnall fire this. And again, remember, this is a combination of their first and second power play units. MacInnis, Duchesne on the bench, Pierre Turgeon on the bench. Courtnall started it by digging it off the boards, back to the point to Todd Gill. Little broken play that bounced to Courtnall, and he launched a laser beam right over Fizet's shoulder. I mean, Fizet was, what a great replay. Fizet started to look down as the twine was bulging.
He led the team in goals scored with 31 during the regular season. Stefan Fasay made big saves, but there's not much he's going to do on that one. And it's a 2-0 lead, a power play goal, the 36th career playoff goal for Jeff Courtnall. Hull and Gill the assists. It came at 4:42. Jeff Courtnall is the leader in all players in this series in playoff games, is 134th. Down low, shot, score! Los Angeles Kings, Craig Johnson! Johnson with a great move and a huge goal makes it 2-1.
Now, how do you get back in a game exactly the way Craig Johnson did? Little surprised at the coverage because he was able to find a lane between Marc Bergevin and Steve Duchesne. Pretty good pass. But then he went wide. Well, I'll tell you what, he found seams everywhere. Once in the neutral zone and then once when he crossed the blue line. Craig Johnson, how good do you think this feels? He's one of the guys that went to L.A. when the St. Louis Blues acquired Wayne Gretzky season before last, and he made that look easy. He's got great speed, not known as a guy that's got hands this good. I guess we're looking at a big game player trying to make a name for himself.
Craig Johnson's second career playoff game, and he gets his first ever playoff goal. And it is 2-1, a huge goal coming at the 5-minute mark of this first period. Maybe in for some kind of a shootout here in the first period. Dumped back in by Sean McDonald behind the net. Stumple had it, lost it. Joseph Stumple, their leading scorer, 79 points for Los Angeles. He wears number 15 out there. Keep an eye on him. Conroy the other way. Conroy trying to come through the middle, knocked down. Rebound, Pellerin, and then he wristed it wide. Scott Pellerin just missed on that one. Dumped back in behind the net. Up the near side boards. Held in. St. Louis. Atchingham. That one will be whistled on the hand pass. Johnson the goal at 5 minutes into the first. Robitaille and Galley the assist. And it's 2-1 Blues. Here at home during the regular season, the Blues, when they scored first, 18-1-4. Well, they scored the first 2 in this game, but a huge comeback goal by the Kings to get them back into it. We've only played 5 minutes and some 45 seconds here. It's 2-1 already. Down low again. Rayoum trying to center. Blake blocked that one. Turgeon trying to hold it in and just pushed by him up the near side boards. McGinnis batted it away. Played back in by Bilesma behind the net. Grant Fuhr up to get it. Fuhr clears it around. That one whipped wide corner. Fuhr pointing out where it is. It was bouncing in the air to Matt Johnson. He left it in behind the net. The Blues will get it back. St. Louis trying to come through the middle. Brett Hull's got it. Hull's got Turgeon. Turgeon had it skip ahead, and it's an offside. He did have a step on the D.
Pretty big challenge out there. The Kings' 4th line out there against the Blues' #1 line. But the one thing the Kings had going for them is that they had their D matchup. Larry Robinson wants Rob Blake out there against Brett Hull and Pierre Turgeon. Absolutely every shift. You saw the size of Rob Blake, 222, 6'3". Rob Blake said this morning, you know, you hear some guys that want to pass off leadership and say, you know, it's a team thing. Everybody has to do his share. Rob Blake of the LA Kings this morning said, it is mandatory that I set the tone. My guys look to me for leadership. I got to set the tone physically. I got to help out offensively. It is up to me. And boy, I tell you what, I respected that.
Cleared back out through center. Blues come back to get it. Mark Bergevin will chase this one down, and that will be played from behind the net. Cleared up through center to Jim Campbell. Campbell's cast deflected away. Desai came out to get it off the near side. 2-1. Blues on top. Game 1 of this best of 7 here in the first round. And it opens up here in St. Louis for the first 2 games, and pretty wide open first 7 minutes of this game. ESPN Magazine, the newest edition on the stands. The NFL playoff previews, the picks there. They picked the Blues to win here in the National Hockey League, and Brett Hull's got an up-close story with some pretty interesting rap going on in that story. He's a guy who has long said those who try and direct me probably won't get a lot done.
Check that out. Don't consider anybody an authority. And the last thing, I'm not much for authority. Duh. Could have guessed that that would have been a Brett Hull quote. And, you know, all he wants is somebody to let him do his thing without trying to push him around.
That has happened here. Knocked away. Aki Berg from center. Hull cleared it back out. Grant Fuhr tipped that one deep, trying to help his teammates get up ice. Fuhr, of course, had played sometime with Los Angeles the 94-95 season. He was 1-7-3. He had a comment the other day saying Kings thought I was dead when they let me go. Little added emphasis here as he plays against them in this series. Hull brings it in. Oh, a shot. That one just deflected wide. McGinnis holds it in down low, kicked away into the middle. Hull came out to get it, couldn't, got cut off, rolls back to center. Pronger there.
Little double shift for Brett Hull, and that's how Joe Quenneville will be able to get him out on the ice without Rob Blake being out there every shift.
Aki Berg, 20-year-old defenseman, back to get it. Big hit put on near side, Chris McAlpine. McAlpine, a good shot on Joseph Stumple. Stumple ricocheted off the boards, came off, right back up skating. Berg near side. Berg up for Simplikov. Campbell stepped in. Campbell trying to hold it in for St. Louis along the near side wall. Did so with help from Duchesne. Berg's got to send it back the other way. Great four-kicking job. Penalty coming up though at the other end, and it's going to be on St. Louis. It'll be on Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall knows it. Immediately heads to the box on the tripping call, and the Kings down by 1 will get a power play opportunity. 12:07 left to go here in the first period.
I'm thinking about moving to another swamp.
Oh, really?
I'm just not comfortable living in a swamp where assassination attempts are taking place. Every loon with a vendetta, every snake with a sinus headache frightens me.
Hey, snap out of it, Louis. Everybody knows it was you.
Oh, Frank, I had no motive. I love Budweiser, and I love the frogs.
Oh, yeah, you're good buddies. I forgot.
Excuse me, if you would remember last summer, I invited them to that barbecue.
Yeah, well, Louis, you wanted to cook them at that barbecue.
But at least I invited them.
Oh.
You wouldn't have invited them.
Will get their first power play of the game as Courtnall goes for tripping at 7:53.
Where Jeff Courtnall came out and really did what the Blues are trying to do to everybody, and that is take the hitting game to L.A. Unfortunately, he hit a guy that didn't have the puck, so he's called on a trip. So far, St. Louis has out-hit the L.A. Kings.
Off the face-off power play, Los Angeles at center. Blake will send it in. The LA Kings, their power play, 11 for Rob Blake. 11 power play goals to lead them in that department. There he is on the far side, holding it in, but Conroy was there to bat it away. LA power play moved from 25th a year ago to 15th this past season. And we'll get another penalty coming up, a slashing call. And that will cost Los Angeles the power play. So they barely got that one started. And instead, after 20 seconds worth of power play time, we go to 4-on-4.
It's Craig Johnson, maybe just suffering a little. Yep, Johnson maybe suffering a little adrenaline overload from that goal that he scored, but he whacked away and got called for it. Didn't see it. It was somewhere away from the puck because we were kind of focusing on the puck. But I'm not sure it would have made much difference. This is one of the keys to this series. LA has to get something on their power play, and that has not been the case against St. Louis, or for that matter down the stretch.
They lose the power play. The Kings do. Hull comes back in the 4-on-4.
There's Joseph Stumple. Watch his play. Now he gets rid of the puck very quickly, pays the price anyway. Chris McAlpine lets him have it. In the offensive zone, the Blues feel that Stumple will take the hit to make the play, and as long as he presents himself for the hit, they plan on making him a big part of their game plan. They want to make him pay physically.
Al McGinnis gets it near side to Hull. 4-on-4. Turgeon out there along with Hull. Far side, Hull cutting to the net. Last shot by Gill. Hull got knocked down, and another penalty coming up. Save made by Fiset on the point shot, McGinnis, and there's the whistle. Well, one of the big questions going into the playoffs this year, how would the officials call the game? Would they continue to call it closely as they did during the regular season? Terry Gregson in this first period is calling it close.
And the teams were told. I mean, both coaches said this morning, we were told by the NHL that there would be no variance from the way the penalties were called down the stretch to the playoffs. And true to form, if you watched any of the action last night, there were a lot of power plays in most of the games. And that would lead you to believe that the refs are continuing to call them. Yeah, that's a hold. I mean, Brett Hall maybe bailed on the play a little bit to make it look good. But Terry Gregson's going to call it by the book.
Robitaille's gone. We're back to the power play, this time for the St. Louis Blues. Holding at 8:34. For the Blues, they already have a power play goal, and this will be an unusual 4-on-3 power play chance. Turgeon, Duchesne, Hull, and McGinnis out there on the power play unit. Face-off kicked away and out of the zone. Good effort by the Kings. That's what they've got to do here, obviously. Nordstrom able to get that one out. McGinnis will come back to get it. So the big power play of St. Louis back to work here. They scored 62 power play goals during the regular season, finishing up tied for 9th in that department. Near side, Turgeon. Turgeon, McGinnis. McGinnis leaves it for Hull. Turgeon to the front of the net. McGinnis. Hull. They play tic-tac. The diamond set up defensively. Shot blocked out deep and back in behind the net. Duchesne. Center. All alone. Shot saved for save on Hull. But Blake took Hull down. Brett Hull was all alone in front of Stephane Fiset. And another big save. Power play still underway here for St. Louis. Turgeon. Turgeon moving it in. Poked back into the corner. Played up and out of the zone by Nathan Lafayette of Los Angeles. Grant Fuhrer holds it up at the other end. 4-on-3 advantage right now for St. Louis. Al McGinnis. McGinnis, the defenseman, gains the red. Pavel Dimitra's come out on the power play along with Hull. Tip to Pronger. Pronger back to Hull. Dimitra's in front of the net. 4-on-3. Al McGinnis. McGinnis. Waiting. Now a 5-on-3. Two-man advantage for St. Louis. Shot McGinnis. Save made for Say. Rebound sets near side. Courtnall up and out of the zone. Nathan Lafayette. Back to the middle. McGinnis. They caught him in a change. Down low, Courtnall. Center. Campbell was cutting, couldn't get to it. Pronger, far side. 5-on-4 now. Shot to save. The save on Al McGinnis. 5-on-4 power play for St. Louis. Near side, Dimitra's got a goal. Leaves it back behind the net. Dimitra near side boards. Power play still St. Louis. Set 2 in front. Can't get it down low. Dimitra again goes up top, and McGinnis can't hold it in. Los Angeles trying to kill off the final seconds, and they do. So the power play is over. St. Louis unable to convert 4 shots on the overlapping 2 power plays that took place in this game for St. Louis on that shift. It remains a 2-1 Blues lead. Pretty hefty action right there. Take a look at our Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary. Start with a B. Bruce Gardner, Ottawa, the overtime goal as they defeated New Jersey at upset. Give us a U. The upset in the other games, Edmonton and Buffalo. Give us a D. The Red Wings open their cup defense. What do you got?
You got Bud. You got Bud.
Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary. Well, Brett Hull's got to be frustrated on that change.
Something like a tight first period of a first game of a playoff. Now this thing has been virtually wide open.
This looks like the first game of the regular season. Where taken away by Seplikov of Los Angeles. LA Kings come into this game 7th offensively during the regular season and 17th in defense. They're up against the #1 offensive team in the NHL, the St. Louis Blues, who average 3.12 goals a game. St. Louis was 12th defensively. Seplikov again. Seplikov pass deflected. Scott Pellerin tried to tip it on net. That deflected away. Passay left it. Seplikov. Blair Atchison. Atchison dug it up behind the net for the Blues. It goes over the glass. And that will draw the whistle. Great to have you with us. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs on National Hockey Night. Kiel Center, St. Louis, where the home Blues are leading it by a score of 2-1. Coverage right through the Stanley Cup Finals for you. This being game 1, of course, of the best of 7 here with these two teams, who, as we said, met 4 times during the regular season. St. Louis won 3 and tied 1. 2 good games played here, though, in a 2-2 tie and a 3-2 win in which Brett Hull got all 3 goals for St. Louis. That one dumped through center. Courtnall had to send it back. LA making changes. LA will make a lot of line changes while play is underway, trying to get the matchups they want. That'll be a 2-line pass. Faceoff will come back in the St. Louis end. 27-year-old Stefan Fiset, regular season numbers.
You know, the way he finished down the stretch, you know that Larry Robinson has got his finger on the pull trigger. And, you know, I was wondering after the first 2 goals, although I didn't think either of those goals was his fault, Larry Robinson will not be afraid to pull him quickly and get Jamie Storr in there, because Fiset, while he is starting in this one, really didn't put up good numbers down the stretch. Grant Fuhr, if you're looking at history, should be dominant in the playoffs, but I'm using the should word. Grant Fuhr was not at his best down the stretch either.
He came back from a re-aggravated knee injury for the final 2 games, which he won on the road. Blake shot, save, Fuhr, rebound, tipped away in front. That one bounced up in the air, and we'll get another holding call. And Terry Gregson is staying with the tight calls in this game, and the specialty teams are going to get a workout. LA is going to go back on the power play.
Maybe an obstruction call. It's going to Darren Turcotte. Turcotte's still got a banged up hand, so it's tough for him to do things defensively sometimes. Doesn't have a lot of strength. That right hand that got smashed by his own teammate 2 months ago in a game that we did. But when you lose the draw cleanly, you don't have time for coverage. See, Al McInnes moved out of the way, and he moved so far, the rebound went right to big Steve McKenna in front. He got a little bit of wood on it.
Power play to Blake. Shot, save, Fuhr. Rebound chipped in the air by Seplikov. Stumple back on top. Blake near side. One timer. And he blasted it wide. Held in on the far side by Gary Galley, the veteran. Galley and Blake are playing the points on this LA power play. Fiset coming out. Conroy was charging up on him. He played it off. A chance for the Kings, who were down 2-0 early on in this game, to get this game tied up on the Turcotte hold at 12:42. St. Louis trying to kill this one off, and it's cleared out of the zone.
The big problem for Los Angeles is the setup, bringing it up ice and getting it set up. If the faceoff's in St. Louis' zone, they're going to do fine, but getting it up ice is a problem usually.
They get it in. Galley over to Blake. Blake, the quarterback on the power play, as well as their leading power play goal scorer. St. Louis will clear that one out. Greg Johnson, rather, couldn't hold it in. Atchison cleared it the length of the ice. Gary Galley will come back to get it. Galley, 35 years old, 14th NHL season. Galley out there, a veteran on the power play unit with Robitaille up front, who tipped it in wide. Played by Grant Fuhr off the near side, not out of the zone. Galley again held it in. Robitaille, Yannick Perreault down low. Perreault along the near side. Perreault back, fired Galley, deflected in front. McInnes couldn't get it. Robitaille got a backhander off. Fuhr the save. LA was changing behind the play. They got too many men on the ice. They had too many on the ice, so they got away with it.
They sure did. They had 2 men halfway across the ice, and one of them had to go off. That's how bad it was.
They turned and looked at each other, trying to decide who was going to leave. The puck was not near the play, though, so it was let go. Johnson in, dumped it in behind the net. Power play down to 19 seconds for the Kings. Cleared back out through center. LA's got to get back on side. Dumped in by Nordstrom, but not before the Kings cleared the zone. So they'll be called on the offside with 5:29 to go in the first period.
Well, Joel Quenneville saw it, and all the St. Louis Blues players saw it because they're always looking to see who's coming next. See if we can see. Well, see that down the bottom right. If you back that up just a second, guys, you can see there were two guys back down in here. That's where the problem was. We had it for a second, but there were two guys standing right beside one another in that bottom right corner. Come on back, guys. Come on back. Come on back. Bang. You see there, you can just see two guys down in the corner. Those are the two LA defensemen, and only one was supposed to be out there.
Gary Galley was headed for the bench, then changed his mind when the puck started coming back up ice. He's the one who twisted and turned on that one. Power play is over, and the Kings do not convert. St. Louis maintains their lead. Back up through center, dumped away by Sean O'Donnell. Both teams trying to make line changes here. There's Pronger back to get it. Pronger, 23 years old, plus 47, number 1 in the NHL, and another penalty on Pronger. Pronger took a King down in the corner, and that is going to create, I believe, another power play opportunity here, and also some heated discussion on the ice about that play. As big number 7 Steve McKenna came over to have some words with Pronger, who was headed to the penalty box. Power play coming 1 week back. Let's check in with John Saunders. John.
Jerry, the new Dodge takes us out to Pittsburgh. Montreal on the power play. Manson to Danfus, and Mark Rusinski puts it on the Canadiens with a 1-0 lead.
And John and Barry, NHL tonight will bring everybody up to date on all that's going on in the playoffs. That'll be coming up following the Montreal-Pittsburgh game on the Deuce. Pronger's out of there, high sticking, 15-minute mark. Shot pure, will hang on to that wrister by Galley.
Well, Chris Pronger can't afford to spend too much time in the penalty box, and if you run at him, you can get him off his game. That's part of LA's game plan. He actually had to reach up. Steve McKenna is the biggest man in the NHL at 6'8", 247. And look at the knob he's got on his stick. A roll and a half of tape, because his hands are so huge. I mean, it's just gigantic.
Power play again. Blake shot. Grant Fuhr the save. Kicked away to the corner. You're saying this morning I'm 100%. Not a problem physically. Down low, Siplikov got tied up. Good defensive play made that time by Al McGinnis. Back up, Blake trying to hold it in, lost it. Greg Conroy gives chase. Conroy's got Stumple behind him, and a 2-on-3 action. Down low to Pellerin. Pellerin shot deflects to the near side. And St. Louis will change up penalty-killing unit. Siplikov out. Power play for the Kings. They are trailing 2-1. 4:20 left to go in the period. Hard wraparound, made it up to the point. Great play by Galley, who kicked that down low to Glenn Murray. They're looking for Siplikov in front. There he is. Shot deflected wide. Siplikov was open. Murray's in front as well. They come back to Blake. Blake, who's willing to gun it to Galley. That one wide on the short side, tipped away by Grant Fuhr. Centered again. Good work. Galley shot. That one deflected wide. Los Angeles getting some chances here in the power play. Held in by Murray. Murray tried to dump it in, blocked by Accident, and cleared out of the zone.
Boy, signs alert for the LA power play. It's not supposed to be even close to this good. Now, they haven't scored on it yet, but there's all the vital signs are good.
They were 1 for 16 during the regular season on the power play against St. Louis. Blue line chance Courtnall, but that's going to be whistled on the offside. 3:38 left to go here in this first period. Our new Dodge intermission will be upcoming between our first and second. Penguins Canadiens highlights there, and a look at the Western Conference, a review of the games played. Stanley Cup playoffs underway. Everybody now has been on the ice.
And Larry Robinson, the coach for LA, knows that he can't compete offensively with St. Louis, so these guys can change gears. He likes the big forechecking game to establish that size, second biggest team in the NHL. But you won't see it very much. We've seen a little bit in this game if the first guy can get there, but LA's been trapping. They have to be careful when they're in the neutral zone. If they turn the puck over when they have it, St. Louis's counterattack is as dangerous as it gets.
Greg Johnson got that one in for the Kings. Sent back right through center. Pellerin the shot. The save kicked that one out on purpose, trying to help it up ice. Got it away to Nordstrom. Nordstrom, a +14 led defenseman on the Kings, and the plus-minus. Grant Fuhr makes a save. Hasn't got a whistle yet. He'll get one now. St. Louis the first two. Dimitra 142. Courtnall at 4:42. Then Johnson at the 5-minute mark for LA.
And why does Larry Robinson know that he can't compete offensively against the Blues? Check this out. The Blues scored 3 goals or more in each of the last 13 games of the regular season, and that tied for the longest streak in the NHL. Detroit started the season going 13 games. When you combine that with LA's numbers, they only scored 3 or more 3 times of their last 17. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can't compete offensively against the #1 offensive team in the league.
You look at the goal differential, an incredible spread. Plus 52 for St. Louis, plus 2 for Los Angeles. A huge differential. Shot. Pure had to get a blocker up on that one. Stumple and Blake combining on that far side off the faceoff. Glenn Murray back to Stumple. Power play. Blake shot. That's blocked out deep. Turcotte blocked that turnaround shot. That was deflected. Grant Fuhr. He had Murray right in front of him. The penalty is over. So the Kings do not convert on the power play, but have given St. Louis something to think about in that regard. Leaves it. Line change. Turgeon, and he ripped that one wide. Comes back to Al McGinnis. Long shift for McGinnis. In behind the net looking to clear it. Sean O'Donnell, who starts up through the middle. O'Donnell clears it out off the wide wing. Murray couldn't get it, and this will be an icing call as Gill comes back on the touch. 2:32 to go here in the first period in St. Louis, where the Blues are leading the Kings 2-1.
You haunt me, my friend. Everywhere I go, you're there. Kiev, Buenos Aires, Budapest. But not this time. At long last, victory is mine.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the thing.
Well, the LA Kings know if Grant Fuhr's on his game, they got to throw all kinds of pucks at him. A knuckleball that Glenn Murray just about deflected in front of Grant Fuhr. Fuhr's focus has to be so strong, and it was Stumple that let that thing go from the blue line, launched it. The LA Kings, when they get their chances, they just have to fire away. Can't be all quality, got to be quantity.
White shot taken by McAlpine, deflected into the corner. Pavel Dimitrov over to get it. He got pinned up and left it back there. A 2-1 lead for the Blues. Courtnall in the middle. Courtnall to Dimitrov. The save! That one goes wide. He lost his stick. Picks it back up in net. McAlpine. Fasay out. Cuts the angle. I think that one off the shaft of his stick. Stefan Fasay is having himself a first period. Pronger over the head of Fasay that time. Now the Kings having trouble clearing the zone here. Big trick put on as down went McAlpine. Blake clears it around, and there's another whistle. The Los Angeles Kings having huge problems clearing the zone. Nathan Lafayette, I believe, finally had to grab somebody. It'll be an interference call and another power play, this one to St. Louis.
Well, I tell you what, it's scary to face the St. Louis Blues power play. Guys like Jeff Courtnall and Dimitrov on it. Watch Blake come from the left on this. Moments ago, Pavel Dimitrov was in front. And did he make a quick right turn? You talk about changing directions. An involuntary change of directions. Dimitrov had done the right. I mean, he made a real focused play by kicking the puck from his skates up to his stick, and then Rob Blake just buried him.
Rob Blake played more defensive shifts in the National Hockey League than any other defenseman. And in these playoffs, he'll play even more. They've got to have him out there. Lafayette's not. Interference 18:07. This is the 4th power play of the game, albeit a couple of short ones for St. Louis. They have scored a power play goal, and with 1:43 left to go in this period, they're back on it. See the time they have had in the attack zone, and it's been strong in the power play. Turgeon near side, had it cut down, taken away, dumped back and out of the zone that time by Jan Volpat, who cleared it up. Back in behind the net, Grant Fuhr held on. Fuhr played that one dangerously as Russ Courtnall went by him in the Kings penalty killing unit. Knocked away at center, Ian LaPerriere. LaPerriere looking up ice, had time. Dumps it into the end again, sent back in behind the net. Minute 12 left to go in the period. Longer than that on the power play by about 5 seconds. Hull moves it up, leaves it to Turgeon. Turgeon, Courtnall, and Hull up front. Hull cutting, took a dive. Neither of them will be called. Not a penalty and not a dive. Sent out of the zone. Duchesne, a minute left to go in the period. Al McGinnis. McGinnis dropped that one off to Hull. Hull trying to backhand it. Outstanding play. Joseph Stumble on the back check. Glenn Murray shorthanded. Murray, his shot. That one over the left shoulder of Grant Fuhr. Shorthanded again. Nordstrom shot deflects off bodies into the slot area. Played there. Turgeon got it up. Renault moves it out, lost it. Nordstrom back in his own end. Kings penalty killers getting it done. 30 seconds left to go. They send it the length of the ice. Down to 28 seconds left to go here in the period. St. Louis, Pronger comes out on the power play unit with Duchesne. Cleared up near side for Pavel Demitra. Checked away, and then he got low. Down low. Center. Duchesne was out of position. Shot tipped wide. Campbell had an empty net and tipped it wide. Oh, what a chance for St. Louis.
Gary, that almost looked like it was going in the net until Jimmy Campbell deflected it.
Wow. Cardinal at center got tied up. Pronger's got it. Last shot in. Fisset the save, and oh my gosh. Not a typical first period of Stanley Cup action. Stefan Fisset has had to come away with big saves on 12 shots, each team with 12.
And some of them came in the dying seconds. You can see wood all over the place. Players without their sticks. Pellerin in front. That one was deflected by, and then Jim Campbell just waited for it. I don't know. He did deflect it, but it might have had a chance that Jim Campbell not touched it. Honestly, that was going in the net until Jimmy Campbell deflected it wide.
Stefan Fisset is the only member of this Los Angeles team who's got a Stanley Cup ring. 96 with Montreal. They're going to get another one.
Even the best game plans unravel when you fall behind quickly and you fall behind by a number of goals early in a hockey game. So Larry Robinson was able to get his guys composed and say, remember, D first, defense first. That's how we're going to beat this team. And I'm not sure he would have been able to do that had they not jumped right back into the game with that quick Craig Johnson goal.
And that was a huge goal and a huge miss at the end by St. Louis when they had the opportunity in the closing moments. It looked like to get their third goal that was headed to the net and deflected wide by their own player, Jim Campbell. We'll see. We are ready to go with the power play still underway here, but only seconds remaining on it. 2-1, and the power play is over. And the Kings have killed it off successfully. Grant Fuhr drops that one off, and we're underway in the second period. Shots were 13-12 in the first period in favor of the Blues. Knocked away again by Grant Fuhr to the near side boards, and the long shot cleared back out of there by Pellerin. Through the middle, Stumple the intended, deflected back into the zone. Rob Blake near side. Blake looking. St. Louis 2-4 checkers in. Worked that time, knocked away. Siplikov, though, got it up front to Rayum. Down the middle. Stumple looking. Wraparound chance. Couldn't get a shot. D shot deflected at the side of the net. Was not on net, and Blair Edgerton was there. Picked it up. Sent in. Pronger giving chase. Pronger the defenseman. Nice drop pass. Fisset the save. Great setup by Pronger to Conroy, who had the opportunity on the short side.
Well, looky here who jumped up on the plate. Jumped up. Heck, he was leading the rush. Chris Pronger broke away on the right side and was looking for the long pass. This is why he's so dangerous. He allows Al McInnes and Steve Duchesne to provide most of the offense, but when he jumps up on the play, boy, can he make things look easy. Chris Pronger is so tall and so lanky, it almost looks like he's going in slow motion out there. He's so fluid, but you don't put up the kind of defensive numbers that he puts up without being just one terrific player, and he is moving faster than he looks.
In 180 penalty minutes during the regular season, he plays it tough as well as often. Net cam look here as we have the face-off coming to the left side of Stefan Fisset, who had an enormous first period. Back to get it is Sean O'Donnell. O'Donnell around the near side. That'll be flipped up and out of the zone on the attempted clear out that time.
Well, Chris Pronger is one of the leading candidates for the Norris Trophy as the best defenseman. Rob Blake's another guy, and Nicholas Lidstrom from Detroit. Here's Chris Pronger on that race.
Partly it is. It's kind of more for offensive defensemen, and as you said, I mean, I jump into the play, but not near as much as say a Lidstrom or a Blake, and you know, certainly their stats are going to help them, and rightfully so. I mean, I think Blake, he's got like 23 goals or whatever, and Lidstrom's near the top in defenseman scoring, so you know, certainly that favors them. So I mean, it's a give and take on different stats.
I think he'll win it. Nathan Lafayette on the tip pass out through center. That plus-minus of his for Pronger, I think, will be a real determining factor, finishing at that plus 47. Set new career highs this year in points, goals, plus-minus, and penalty minutes. I mean, he's had two very solid seasons.
I think he'll win it too, Gary.
Yep. I mean, the writers will vote.
Yep.
Portnoy dropped it off wide side in the middle. Demitra leaves it down low, deflected away to the near side. Good back checking. Los Angeles trying to move out of the zone. Nathan Lafayette. Gill stepped up to hold it in. Pavel Demitra again down low. Got checked off the puck. Moved up, not out. Yes, it is. Gill could not hold that one in as it bounced away. Both teams want to make line changes on the fly here. 2-1, just underway second period. The St. Louis Blues are on top. Portnoy moved it in. Jeff Portnoy left it in the middle. Portnoy had gotten knocked down. He was the intended on that pass, and he was sliding along the ice. Want to remind you, ABC's coverage of Major League Soccer coming your way Saturday at 2 Eastern and 3 Pacific. San Jose Clash and the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. The return of a great player, Tab Ramos. He'll be back for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. ABC Saturday.
Boy, Pierre Turgeon sees the ice so well. Watch Courtnall wipe out. Turgeon with one hand. He was trying to get it through to Brett Hall. Look who showed up at the side of the net. Brett Hall just didn't make it.
Turgeon on this face-off got dumped after he had won it. Yannick Perreault on the draw took him down, and L.A. clears it out. Have to get back on side. Bergevin working on D here. Pass up. Blake's got it for L.A. and way offside. They won't get away. So Duchesne able to move it up to Hull to Duchesne. Good quick passing by Hull. Intercepted, sent right back out the other way. Good word back on D by Robitaille that time. Duchesne takes it back in behind the net. Steve Duchesne flips the high aerial. Robitaille intercepts. Robitaille able to hold it in. The return goes through to Blake. Blake, the quick shot. Had that one blocked in front. Deflected wide. Never got a shot on net that time. They had two in front. Yannick Perreault swung around for the chance. Back onside the Kings. Perreault will dump it in. Brad Fuhr leaves it side of the net. Fuhr's up. Will take a bounce off the boards. Not out of the zone. Robitaille down low. Bergevin on him. Robitaille was open momentarily with the puck bounced away from him. Conroy the hit down there. Still loose. Duchesne clears it around the near side glass, but not out of the zone. Kings doing a good job. Robitaille centered it. Nobody there. Conroy. Great checking forward. Got it away to Rayoum. Conroy on the right wing side. Hall got leveled along the blue line. Brett Hall got tripped, gets up, heads to the bench. Looks as though he's all right. Had his legs taken out from under. Duchesne at the far end, and a penalty coming up on this one. This time it's going to go against the Los Angeles Kings. And a power play coming for St. Louis. They'll try and extend their 2-1 lead. No, they won't. Power play shot deflected wide and behind the net. And I apologize. I thought the penalty was going to go the other way. But it's the St. Louis Blues who find themselves shorthanded here as Bergevin got called on the obstruction holding at 3:13. Fourth power play for the Kings to get a chance to tie this game up. They're trailing 2-1 here in the period. Gary Galley leaves his Blake shot deflected wide. Simplicop behind the net. Fuhr reached out and batted it away. Joseph Stumple. Stumple 10th in points. Shot. Fuhr outside of the zone. Good rip shot by Galley, who checks his stick. Thought he might have broken it. Both teams will change it up. Power play for Los Angeles. Back on the forecheck. Turcotte takes Blake down. Good work, Turcotte. Single-handed effort, short-handed on that check. Blake cleared it up. Stumple got it away to center. Murray, tip pass back, far side Galley. Galley for Simplicop. Simplicop, Murray. Len Murray has had a great season with 29 goals to lead the team in goals. Murray sets up in front of the net. Simplicop to the side. Hatchingham beat it to it. And it's cleared out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joseph Stumple has hardly had any chance to do what he does best. That is find people open when he's got the puck. And St. Louis's game plan involved making sure Joseph Stumple was not allowed to carry the puck, and he didn't have time to do it. And they've executed that to a T. We've only seen him handle the puck a couple times.
And somebody's right on him. Robitaille got it back to the point. Bopat had it knocked away. Conroy coming short-handed. Conroy's got a couple of trailers. Penalty coming up. He is one of the game's great defensive forwards. Number 22, Craig Conroy, who finished the season with a +20, a Selke candidate for just that kind of work.
And for a good reason. But besides that, Craig Conroy's got some great hands. And if you give him a chance, there he was just moving out to the point. He was able to snare it and snag it on the way by. So you don't want to give him a chance one-on-one. I mean, this guy for a Selke candidate has hands like a true scorer. And like most guys that make it to the NHL when he was younger and going to school, he was a big scorer at Clarkson. But when you get to the NHL level, you got to adjust your game, and he has. But that does not mean that he's lost his hands. I mean, he's a real slick player.
So the power play lost. 25 seconds remained on that power play chance for the Kings. Vopat goes on the hook at 4:48. We'll skate 4-on-4. And then a potential power play coming up for St. Louis. Little ice repair here at the Kiel Center.
You know what? They had problems here the last couple of days. The actual air conditioning and heating is computer controlled, and it malfunctioned. So there's a lot of wind above the ice and airflow, and that makes frosty ice and sticky ice. And in talking to the folks here at the building, Fred Corsi, the building manager today, said, we know as building people, we have to have quick ice because we've got a fast hockey team. Yep. And they really fixed it up for today.
St. Louis's game, they've cooled the building down pretty well here today. It was a beautiful day in St. Louis. Temperature in the low 70s today. And a fairly warm night outside tonight. O'Donnell takes it back in behind the net. Sean O'Donnell, 4-on-4 for the moment. Kings want to control the puck, get it up and out because power play's coming up in 14 seconds for St. Louis. Courtnall in, looking to the middle for Lafayette. The Galley shot save for save, rebound kicked in front of O'Donnell. And another save made by Grant Fuhr. Grant Fuhr coming up on 2 big chances for the Los Angeles Kings on the 4-on-4. Sean O'Donnell may have had the best chance with Fuhr down on the ice, but he couldn't pick the puck up.
Oh. That's what Sean O'Donnell's saying. Please let me have forward's hands just for 5 seconds of my life. Like right now, when Grant Fuhr is on his back or face down the way he was on this play. Look, all he had was his glove in the air. So the entire top of the net was wide open for Sean O'Donnell. O'Donnell is a real good defensive defenseman, but he only got 2 goals in 80 games, so that gives you part of his MO. You know what? In his defense, and we didn't see that until the last 2 angles, he had to kick it with his skate and it didn't lie flat for him. He's explaining that to somebody in the bench. By the time he was able to whack at it, I don't even think he hit it.
It was bouncing almost on the intercept. Power play underway now for St. Louis. They've got a 5-on-4 advantage, a minute 30 on this power play opportunity for the St. Louis Blues. It's their 5th power play of the game. They're 1 for 4. Courtnall's got it. Jeff Courtnall, the 35-year-old veteran, got it into Hull. Hull waiting for his teammates to get into the zone for the setup. Steve Duchesne. McGinnis blast blocked out deep. Duchesne held it into McGinnis. McGinnis another shot. Save for save. Rebound. Courtnall wide. Centering Turgeon. Broken stick. Massey trying to cover. Hull has it. Shot stop. Turgeon.
We talked about the big cannon named Al McInnes, and when he starts it with the big shot, then all of a sudden people can be out of position. But Jeff Courtnall, Pierre Turgeon, and Brett Hull, boy, what great execution in tight. There is Hull right in front, 16. 14 is in front as well. McInnes wants to just blast away and let his skill guys take over down low. It's exactly what he did. Broken stick, a slash on Turgeon by Nordstrom. That didn't stop Turgeon a bit. He just went out to the front of the net, and a great pass by Brett Hull and by Jeff Courtnall. I mean, all 3 of these guys had a piece of that. Excellent execution.
First goal of the playoffs on a power play at 5:46. So they've got 2 power play goals now in this game, and that's what the Kings feared. He finished up strong. Larry Robinson said we cannot give them power play chances. They've given them 5, and they've converted on 2. 5:46. Turgeon's 22nd career playoff goal. Courtnall and Hull pick up the assist, and it is a 2-goal lead again for the Blues as they lead it 3-1 for their big packed house here at the Kiel Center. Sent back in, Robitaille on the far side. Robitaille had batted away. Galley save. Rebound. Shot. Save again by Grant Fuhr. Tipped away in the corner. Yannick Perreault had the second chance. Centered shot. That deflected up in the air off the defenseman, Mark Bergevin. The Kings come right back out here and try and pour on a goal to get it back to a 1-goal game.
And this is the same line that got that goal back in the first period.
Yannick Perreault was down low along with Robitaille for a couple of good chances. Johnson the other. Johnson has a goal in this game. That's Greg Johnson. Up the near side, the Kings. Robitaille waiting for the puck. Never got to him. Held in by Rayoum behind the net. Fisset played it up. Rayoum again. Rayoum shot. That's deflected in the circle. Pronger holds it in at the blue. Richter. Save made by Fisset. Comes off the near side boards. Pavel Demitra dumped it back to Campbell. Rayoum was back to help out here. Kicked away. Campbell tried to center. Had it blocked. Johnson cleared it up and did get it out. Yannick Perreault will bring it to the rim. They need a line change. Grant Fuhr at the other end holds it up. Fuhr looking for someone up ice to catch him in a change. Had Rayoum. Rayoum tipped it away. Got hit by O'Donnell. Back to center. Pronger back in his own zone. Pronger swung it across ice. Siplikov up. Did not quite on the poke check, trying to get it away. Blues rushing up. Pellerin wrister. Save made for save. Far side. McAlpine went over. Didn't get there. Stumple did. Stumple cleared it wide side. Murray's got a man open in the middle. Look. Shot. Save. Deflected off a stick. Up and over the glass.
Well, a good try by Sean O'Donnell to get up on the play after missing a close-in chance moments ago. He jumped up on the play. He's got the taste now. He wants to score something. But the Blues have gone on top 3-1 on the strength of some great passing from behind Fizet in our goal cam, where you can tell the kind of action he faced in front, and he couldn't keep up with it.
Well, it seems to be spelling night here. Bring Lord Stanley's cup here to St. Louis. The Blues. He's cheering and waiting. He'd love to see it. The old St. Louis Blues uniform. A little ice cream off my nose, and I'm ready for the faceoff. It'll come to the left side of Grant Fjord. A 3-1 lead for the Blues over the Kings. Shots are 18-16 in favor of the Blues here in the second period. Draw one by St. Louis. McGinnis giving chase. Let it go to Hull. Hull flips it up off the dasher. Not out of the zone. Aki Berg held it in. Came back to center. Blues will get it out this time. Hull's on the left side. McGinnis sends that one in. Far side Turcotte sent back around the net. Darren Turcotte, last playoff 92 for him. Hull along the near side, so it bounced over his head to Murray. To Hull in front. Hull had it poke checked away as he tried to wrap it around. Kings get it out of the zone. Glenn Murray will give chase. St. Louis Blues team, if you believe finishes during the regular season matter in the playoffs, they were 9-5 in the last month of the season. Second best mark in the final month to Edmonton's 9-4. So you like them fired up when you come into the playoffs. St. Louis is in that category. Knocked down by Gill. Gill centered, but it deflected off sticks, and it will be cleared out again. The Kings right now are battling to get a transition game going. Todd Gill sets it up. Murray had it, lost it. Right now the Kings are just jamming it out of the zone. Blake did that time.
They just don't have the speed for a counterattack kind of game. They got to chip it out, chip it in, and then be patient. I think they got to go to a dead neutral zone trap and just be patient.
These St. Louis Blues have gone to the playoffs 19 consecutive years now. Among major league teams, these Blues are #1 in that department. If you go to the NBA, it's the Trailblazers, 16 in a row. The Braves have been there 6 in a row. And in the National Football League, the Steelers and the 49ers, both 6 in a row. Blues well ahead of that, 19th time. There you see the numbers for the major sports franchises going to playoff appearances. Chicago's elimination took them out. What was it, 28 consecutive, I think, for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, they were way out in front.
They are not in it this year. Face off to the right side of Stéphane Fissé. Fissé playing in just his 7th career playoff game, has faced some hard shots. Blake cleared that one behind the net. Yannick Perreault won the draw. And the Kings again dump it out of it. Larry Robinson said this morning, that's what I want my team doing. In order to nullify the transition game of St. Louis, he wants his team playing the puck off the boards, out of the zone, in a hurry with just a couple of passes. Dimitra, the move. Centered shot. Great save for save. Rebound hit the side of the net. Courtnall, the rebound just missed on the short side. Johnson sent it in. Campbell cleared it up and then got level. 2-on-2 the other way. Courtnall again. Courtnall, Duchesne. Duchesne shot. Flipped up over the net. Back in behind the net. Dimitra had it. Courtnall trying to get it back to him. Banged off the boards. Far side chased down by Courtnall. Courtnall, Campbell, and Dimitra. Shot. Campbell scores!
This was LA's test. They had to bend without breaking here. I don't think they can come back from a 4-1 lead, and that's what it is right now, but St. Louis just wouldn't be denied. Like a big wave. Boy, Dimitra made a couple of great plays. First on the original rush, then to keep the play alive once Jeff Courtnall got squeezed off, and Dimitra found Jimmy Campbell, who just ripped a shot in the 5-hole of Stéphane Fizet right between his pads. Fizet had made an incredible save on Campbell in the original rush, but not on that one. And St. Louis leads 4-1.
Jim Campbell, who's had 2 great seasons back-to-back, starts the playoff off here in Game 1 with a goal, and it is a 4-1 lead. 14 consecutive games now when you go back to the final 13 of the regular season, that this St. Louis team has been able to score 3 or more goals in a game. And they've got the white towels being flung around here at the Kiel Center. Courtnall now has 4 points in this game. Rayum shot. Visagi just made the short side save as St. Louis got the jugular vein in sight. And Fisay's paying the price in that regard. 4-1 Blues. Elsewhere, John Saunders.
Well, Gary, the new Dodge takes us out to Pittsburgh. The Penguins were down 2 men, but Brad Warenka steps out of the penalty box. Nice move, and he ties the game at 1 apiece. Shorthanded goal. Gary.
John, thanks very much. That's the only other game going on in the playoffs. And here it's the Blues on top by a score of 4-1. Courtnall a goal and 3 assists in this game. Ooh, for brother Jeff.
Man, you see, and typical of the St. Louis Blues attack. 4 different players have scored goals, and not one defenseman has scored a goal. This is a top scoring team in the NHL from their defense, and they don't even have a goal from them yet.
They've got half a game left to get one, though. Centering pass out in front. Siplikov plays it in the corner. Pronger got spun around. Centering pass. Siplikov was cutting, couldn't get to it. Stumple on the boards. Stumple. Siplikov got it down low. Shot saved by Brad Fuhr. Oh, what a save by Fuhr. Glenn Murray, the opportunity, spun it around, and Fuhr denied. Goal number 4, 9-17. Campbell's second career playoff goal. Dimitra and Courtnall picking up the assist. Dimitra also multi-point man. He is 1-1 on the night. Murray up ice, trying to hack it along the boards for the Kings. Gets hacked from behind, and a penalty coming up. Al McGinnis. Now he gets some pushing and shoving in the corner as Kelly Chase, 39 in white, who's got a 1,756 penalty minutes in 388 games.
But I'll tell you what, he's got one of the big heavyweights squared off with him. Luckily for the time being for Kelly Chase. I say luckily. Kelly Chase will fight anybody. But that's Matt Johnson, one of the great big men in the NHL. And only a couple of guys had more fights than his 26 in the NHL. He's got hands about 8 inches wide when he makes a fist across his knuckles about 8 inches across. Kelly Chase admits that he's kind of a middleweight, middle heavyweight. Matt Johnson's a super heavyweight.
Probably get matching minors here. Al McGinnis, I believe, had the original call that was going to go against him.
Yep, sure did. That was McInnes there taking on Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray, 27 for Los Angeles, is their top goal scorer in the regular season. So they're paying a little special attention to him. And Matt Johnson and Kelly Chase did their thing. A big test for the LA Kings, obviously, now, as you see Matt Johnson. But talked about Joseph Stumple in a big test, and his winger, that guy right there, Glenn Murray, also a big test. He has never gone into the playoffs having to be the go-to guy, the go-to goal scorer. So it's something different for both Glenn Murray and Joseph Stumple. You know, it's kind of tough for Larry Robinson. You never know how your key guys are going to react when it's their first time in this situation with the spotlight shining right on them, saying, you got to be our guys, man. Come on.
Joseph Stumple has only 23 playoff games under his belt in his career. Glenn Murray has 48. Not a lot when compared to the St. Louis Blues and their veterans. The penalties end up being matching minors at 10:39. Matt Johnson got the roughing call and Al McGinnis the cross-checking call. So again, we'll go to a 4-on-4 situation with a face-off coming at the top of the right face-off circle in the St. Louis end. 21-17 the shots in favor of the Blues. And ready to drop the puck. Stumble on the face-off, won by Yake, cleared up the near side by the Blues, and they'll get it out of there. Siplikov back in the middle of Terry Yake. Yake tried to leave it and created his own offside. We should mention tonight for Los Angeles, one of the people not playing here, they have scratched Smolik, Boucher, and Moger, who's injured, but they've also scratched Ray Ferraro.
A healthy Ray Ferraro. Boy, he was a sour guy. He's having his knee drained so that he can practice. But Larry Robinson chose to scratch Ray Ferraro, and Ray Ferraro was in kind of a bad mood this morning, boy, because he really wanted to play. Nevertheless, that's Ray Ferraro on the far left. He's still talking, but that's typical Ray Ferraro. He's one of one of the great guys and one of the easiest guys to talk to, but this morning he wasn't real talkative.
He thought he was going to be back in coming off an injury, and Larry Robinson decided otherwise. Murray put the hit on. Pronger comes away with a puck though for St. Louis in the middle of Scott Pellerin. Pellerin will move it up. Pellerin, Conroy on the right. Conroy kicked it into the corner. Aki Berg. Tried to tip that in, didn't get it. Pronger shot, rebound. Pellerin batted away by Facet. Berg on the far side left it down low. They'll come to O'Donnell. Blues leading at 4-1. 8:40 to go. Second period. And the St. Louis Blues, heavily favored here in this series, have taken a big lead. Berg shot saved by Fuhr. Any question about his knees? Take a look at that save. Pronger comes to the red, and Pronger will tip that one in. He has 5 Stanley Cup rings. Grant Fuhr, I thought he had one of the great comments. They asked him, well, how much does it mean and why does it mean something to you to win another? He said, I like jewelry. Nathan Lafayette. Lafayette in behind the net, and it tipped away. Lafayette got tied up. Puck sitting there. Siplikov back to get it. Batted away from Siplikov. Big battle here. Up off the boards. Not out. Kings trying to hold it in. Blake steps up near side. Nice pass to himself. Or tried to get it around the board. Siplikov and he collide. St. Louis. Hull gets leveled and a penalty coming up. Delayed call. Facet on the touch. Tripping call as Hull got leveled. Power play coming for St. Louis, and the Blues already have a 4-1 lead. For the Los Angeles Kings, the gateway to the West may be going back home and not coming back. Chris Pronger, great defenseman. What does he have in common with a Los Angeles counterpart, great defenseman, Rob Blake?
Well, they're roommates at the World Championships and at the Olympics for Team Canada, but they met when Rob Blake was going to Bowling Green with Sean Pronger, plays for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. The older brother, he got moved at the trading deadline, didn't he? Yeah. Got moved to Pittsburgh. But that's how they met, through Chris Pronger's brother when he was going to Bowling Green.
Fine. College hockey school. Power play underway here. Hull. St. Louis has got a 4-on-3 for the second time in this game. We've seen this. Shot. That deflected wide. Gill had the chance. Siplikov the tripping at 12:07. Power play number 6 for St. Louis. Facet the save. Puck sitting near side. Facet got run into, knocked over.
Hang on.
Gets back up slowly, but the puck's out the center. And now, wow, we're getting some hits on the near side. Brett Hull, Ian LaPerriere had moved in on him. Hull, without a helmet he intended, but the puck was deflected away. Back for Hull at the rim. Hull will turn it up ice. Hull, like the Golden Jet, got a chance to have those blocks curling behind him. Centering pass, and Facet will hang on to that one. Power play still underway here. She get a chance to look at the helmetless one, but not for long. Stanley Cup playoff coverage on the Deuce coming your way tomorrow at 7:30. A doubleheader for you. Buffalo at Philadelphia. How about that start? The Sabres won 3-2 in the opener, and Peter Swoboda, the defenseman for the Flyers, maybe lost to a neck injury. Edmonton at Colorado, game 2. How about that one? Edmonton opened up with a win against Colorado.
Well, Brett's got the helmet back on the melon. Ian LaPerriere, the ex-St. Louis Blues player, went right for him, for his head.
Had a scoring chance after that. Jim Campbell, who had the last goal, bounces it off the boards by Vopak, cleared out by Stumple. Played back by Pronger. With the time remaining on the power play, Blues 2 for 5 in that regard, and 10 shots have come off the power play for him in this game. Facet over to O'Donnell. O'Donnell and Courtnall collide over there. Courtnall trying to hold it into Dimitra and Campbell. They're the 3 up front. Courtnall comes behind the net. Courtnall already a 4-point game, a goal and 3 assists for number 14 in white. Pronger goes wide side them again. McGinnis back for Pronger. Pronger takes the shot. Tipped just wide by Campbell. Campbell scores! Second goal for Campbell. Set up by Courtnall.
Well, that might signal the end of Stéphane Fizet's effort tonight. Not because of his effort, but just because the St. Louis Blues have 5 on him right now. And all alone in front. I mean, Fiset gets into trouble when he tries to do too much. So you look at this replay and you might think, well, Fiset came out too far, trying to cut down the angle, but he saw Jim Campbell standing absolutely wide open, waiting to make the deflection, and rather than take the deflection, Fiset went out to try to get to Campbell before he could make the deflection, and it ultimately cost him. I still don't think it was a bad decision one way or the other, and this ain't his fault. You can say what you want about his numbers coming down the stretch. St. Louis could have scored 8 by now.
There he goes. Fisset ended the season 2-7 with a .383 goals against and an 87 save percentage. So Larry Robinson, after this goal, number 5, will bring Jamie Storr in.
Yep, and nobody covering Jimmy Campbell out front either. I mean, somebody has to move over to him. It was really Sean O'Donnell's man. O'Donnell was down low on the far side. He has to come in front when the play is over at the left point. Nobody picked up Jim Campbell. Goal number 2.
Jamie Storr has never been in a playoff game before. He is only 22 years old, played in only 17 games, went 9-5-1. He is a rookie. He will get his first playoff experience right here. He had a great finish. He finished 8-3-1 in his games with a .211 goals against and a .931 percentage save at the end of the regular season.
Which were numbers that were stronger and better than Stéphane Fiset's, but Fiset had been there before, and it's not a bad time for Jamie Storr to get in here and get some experience. I mean, this game is pretty well lost, or at least you can assume that at 5-1. So you get in there, get loose, get some experience. Then if you have to start, it's not real scary.
Jamie Storr in net. Of course, you do not get a chance to warm up in the National Hockey League when you come off the bench as a goaltender replacement. So the first action he'll see will be the first shot from the Blues. Real live play. Turcotte's got it. Goes near side. Bergevin, and he'll feather that one up the boards. 5:56 to go here in this second period. Centering pass deflected off Kelly Chase as he dumped it off the back of the net. The Kings being outshot in this game now 27-18. More importantly, though, being outscored 5-1. And they have done the things Larry Robinson did not want them to do. They have given too many power plays to the Blues. 6 power plays for St. Louis, and they've scored 3 power play goals. 13:41. Campbell the last goal. Second of the game. Courtnall and Pronger the assist. Hockey Berg back together. Berg will move it up. What a night for Jeff Courtnall now, as he's got a goal and 4 assists. A 5-point game for Courtnall. Rayum had it deflected away into the zone, played by McGinnis. McGinnis off the back of Hull's skates, didn't see it. Sean O'Donnell picks it up, flips it ahead. It'll be sent in behind the net where Grant Fuhr goes back to play it. Fuhr looking to improve on an enormous record against LA all those years in Edmonton when they creamed the Kings. Fuhr is 34-14-9. Wraparound chance, score! Turgeon! 6-1. Jamie Storr never saw a shot. It was a goal.
Wow, and a wraparound. What a great play, though, by Pierre Turgeon. And now all that good I talked about that could possibly happen to Jamie Storr coming in really with nothing to win because the game was lost. Well, you might consider that pretty well washed away now that he has faced his first shot and has allowed it to get in behind him. What a play by Turgeon. But you see how Storr committed? Storr was out cutting down the angle, and when he went down to his knees, as soon as Turgeon made the play, and a good steal by Turgeon, but watch this, as soon as Storr went down to his knees, right there, he's in trouble. You don't have much traction when you're on your knees, and Pierre Turgeon made him pay.
He had 22 goals in the regular season. Now, of course, we got to look for the fights. This is when things happen in the National Hockey League. A blowout, 6-1, Blues leading. Kings being almost humiliated. Point shot. Grant Fuhr had that one ripped over his shoulder. Blake trying to hold it in, did. Deflects off sticks, and the Blues able to clear it out. Rob Blake back to get it. Sellout crowd of over 19,000 roaring here at the Kiel Center. Glenn Murray trying to move it in. Pronger took him down. Penalty coming up. It'll be on Pronger. There's the whistle. Players having trouble hearing it. Terry Gregson holds his arms up and says, "Whoa, boys, we got a penalty here." Los Angeles will get a power play. The Blues in the second period up by 5. Will pick up his second penalty of the game. This one holding at 15:52, and Los Angeles will get their 5th power play of the game. They, though, have not been able to convert on their power play.
And guess what? St. Louis is going to be cherry picking, going to break up plays, looking for shorthanded situations here for a goal.
Siplikov's centering pass was deflected. St. Louis shorthanded. Scott Pellerin. Pellerin dumps it back into the middle for Conroy. Intercepted, sent back out by Galley. Gary Galley working on this power play for the Los Angeles Kings. A power play 15th in the NHL. 1 for 16 during the regular season against St. Louis. Glenn Murray dropped it back into the middle. Galley got leveled. Centering pass deflected to the near side. Stumble got knocked down in front. Stumble's all right. Gets back up. St. Louis trying to clear. They had Pellerin out at the red line. And a whistle as that one's offside. 3:30 to go here in the second period. And you're seeing why St. Louis is the #1 offensive team in the National Hockey League, as they put up 6 goals in less than 2 periods in this playoff game.
I mentioned that the St. Louis Blues would try for more even with their shorthanded. Watch the LA Kings. Well, they're trying to wind this up. This is way back, but I mean, once the play got down into St. Louis's zone, Scott Pellerin decided to try for the break. Glenn Murray with a little bit of a scoring chance. From this play here, Scott Pellerin headed right up the middle, way ahead of the play. And that's not a Scott Pellerin-like move because he's a defensive guy. But with a 6-1 lead, guess what? St. Louis wants more. This could get even worse for LA.
Yes, it could. Dump back in behind Grant Fuhr. Duchesne on the far side. Steve Duchesne on the touch, and that will be an icing call. And that will draw the whistle. 3:15 to go in the second period. Take a look at our head and shoulders storyline here on National Hockey Night and our Stanley Cup playoff coverage. Johnson, first career playoff goal for LA, the only one they've got. Pavel Demitra scored on the first shot of the game. Courtnall, a big night, ties the Blues record for most points in a playoff game.
Our head and shoulders replays. First of all, goal number 5 for the St. Louis Blues. That put an end to the work night for Stéphane Fiset, the goaltender for LA. And then moments ago, goal number 6. This is what greeted Jamie Storr when he came in relief of Fiset. That wraparound goal by Turgeon, 6-1, St. Louis.
This St. Louis team had the greatest offensive improvement of any NHL team this past year from the year before. A plus 20 in goals for. And it has made a huge difference in the year, and it is what they will rely on along with Grant Fuhr and net to carry them in the playoffs. And boy, they have used it here with a 6-1 bulge. Dump back into the zone. Power play down to 37 seconds for the Kings. LA trying to get their second. Robitaille set up in front. You've not heard from their scorers. We've mentioned before about even touching the puck. Stumple, Robitaille just have not been able to get their hands on the puck and do anything with it. Credit that to St. Louis.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially against Joseph Stumble because he likes to carry the puck. Robitaille wants somebody else to get the play down low, and then when they start to cycle and forecheck a bit, he knows how to get open to get those shots away. But LA hasn't been able to establish their forecheck game at all. They haven't trapped very well. It's been all St. Louis.
That one chipped up over the glass as Robitaille tried to dump it into the middle. And down to just 2 seconds remaining on this Kings power play. St. Louis without Jamie Rivers, Tony Twist, Rudy Pozchek, Michel Picard, rather, all scratches. Mike Eastwood is out of there. He's got a wrist problem that's keeping him out of this game. But the St. Louis Blues team overall, they've got the people playing that they would want in there.
You know, and Gary, you mentioned how awesome this team is offensively. They do it with balance. They got 12 guys that have scored 10 or better in the regular season. It is so incredible that back before this season started, Joel Quenneville and his staff had one concern. Where are the goals going to come from? They thought they were deficient offensively. So even teams' coaching staff themselves can miscalculate it.
Been a lot of career highs for both of these teams, in fact, offensively for different players. Turgeon had it batted away. Penalty is over. Lafayette dropped it along the board. Sean McKenna, the rookie shot. Fuhr makes the save. And with a minute 53 remaining in the second period, the Blues on top by 5, out shooting Los Angeles now 28-18.
There's the glove of Darren Turcotte. I mean, he's sitting the very same way that he sat 2 months ago when that hand was bare on top of the boards in Anaheim when his own teammate accidentally two-handed him like a baseball bat chop right on the hand. Well, it's still not right. He's got nerve damage in it. Al MacInnis was the guy, and Al MacInnis felt so bad that night. If you saw our game, you noticed that Al MacInnis never did return that night. He was sick about it. Well, Darren Turcotte still doesn't have full use of his hand. His hand is immobilized under his glove. He said this morning, every time he moves it, it's like somebody driving a knife into it.
We were incredulous that he could even play. That one deflected off Grant Fuhr. Good point shot taken by Sean O'Donnell that time. Back up to the near side. Try it again. Not this time. Blocked out deep. Sent back Courtnall. Courtnall drops it off. 5-on-5 here. St. Louis will dump it in. A minute 36 left to go in the period. So for St. Louis, 4 goals here in the second period ties a playoff record for them. Most goals in a playoff period 6 times previously. And they add to that here tonight with a 4-goal second so far. Minute 20 left in the period. Courtnall left it on the near side. Courtnall with that big 5-point night. He's got a chance to set a new record for St. Louis. 1 more point. It'll be the highest single game total in the playoffs ever for a St. Louis Blues player. Peter Zezel, Greg Paslowski, Doug Gilmour, Fedorko, and Joey Mullen have all had 5-point games for the Blues in previous playoff years. Jim Campbell, a couple of goals. Duchesne down low, helped get it up to Courtnall. Minute to go here in the period. It's going to be tough now. The Blues are going to have to think about hanging in here. Courtnall, backhand shot, save made by Storr. You get a big lead like this sometimes, and you really have to push yourself to keep going.
Well, Jeff Courtnall won't have to push. I mean, he wants to get 7 or 8 points. And that line with Dimitra and Courtnall on it, I think they're the best St. Louis line on the counterattack because they're so quick.
Well, they have moved it around tonight. Bopat shot off the post. Rebound deflected wide. Grant Fuhr had that one go off the post. I think hit him in the back and then deflected wide to the corner. 18 seconds left to go in the period. Rayum coming up. They've got a 3-on-2. Courtnall up the near side. Blasted Rayum. Courtnall deflected it away. One of the 2 Kings back that time on defense. Nordstrom helped out. That deflected up off the glass behind Grant Fuhr. Played there by Pronger. Period comes to an end. St. Louis fans on their feet. Why not? Courtnall, a 5-point game already. There's a period to go. Campbell's got 2 goals in this game. And Grant Fuhr has got a chance for yet another win in net. 127 playoff wins, 3rd all-time for netminders. The St. Louis Blues are leading this one 6. Louis Blues, the #1 offensive team in the National Hockey League, exciting their fans. 6-1 after 2 periods, led by Courtnall's goal and 4 assists as we get ready for the 3rd.
This is not just a team that can score, but they're smart, they are disciplined, they make the safe play when they have to. That's exactly what happened on Turgeon's goal. But Grant Fuhr went to bed to play the puck because the forecheck was coming. So Grant Fuhr just laid it around the side. And that really left it up for Brett Hull. What's he going to do? How about a safe play? Even Brett Hull knows when to make a safe play. Now, once he dumped it out, look at St. Louis. 3 guys in the middle of the ice. They're trying to cut the ice in half and trying to prevent the pass from going over to this side. If you try the pass, and that's what Sean O'Donnell did, you get burned on that counterattack. And that turnover, and Pierre Turgeon made them pay. So it's not just balanced offensive scoring. It is very disciplined play on their own end, making the safe play. Good puck movement from Grant Fuhr. And Brett Hull, who led the NHL in assists in the month of April, is back on his assist horse in this one. He's got 3.
Great job by St. Louis. Now the Kings have just got to settle down here. This is a best of 7. They've got to get things back online. It'll be interesting to see here as Turgeon moves it in. Whether Larry Robinson changes the style. Hull scores! Oh my gosh! 16 seconds into the period. It's 7-1.
Yeah, you were saying
the new style didn't work.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better. First of all, they give Pierre Turgeon way too much time. Second of all, Pascal Rayum was allowed to roam in on the left side wide open. The third bad was Brett Hull being able to just cut through a lane and get right to the net. So nobody was touched on that play. Turgeon to Rayum to Brett Hull, and not a person touched him. I mean, that's the biggest mistake LA's made in this game. St. Louis hasn't had to pay physically for anything they've got.
So Hull now has a goal and 3 assists. He's got a 4-point game going and a 7-1 lead for the Blues. In the corner, swung around with the puck is Russ Courtnall. His brother Jeff Courtnall's had the better of it for a mum back home tonight. Shot save made by Grant Fuhr on Nathan Lafayette. Back up to the point. That one deflected out in front of O'Donnell's chance. Bilesma lost it, gets it back. Bilesma in the corner. Courtnall behind the net, centered for Lafayette. Deflected to Pavel Dimitro's got a goal in this game. And St. Louis gets it up ice. They've got Campbell for the trip. Save! Rebound empty net! Scores! Dimitra! Pavel Dimitra! Oh, baby, the dam is down.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am disappointed that the LA Kings are not embarrassed enough just to pick somebody up. It is not that hard just to put your head down and skate back and try to cover somebody. Even if you don't touch them, pick them up. Obviously, the LA Kings have an embarrassment quotient or tolerance much higher than I thought. Great execution by the Blues. I don't want to take anything away from them. Is that Jeff Courtnall again?
He'll get the second assist.
Oh, my gracious. And Jimmy Campbell gets one. Yeah, I can only say that if there's one danger, but I don't know how it could be a danger seeing this game. When you win too big, you stop fearing your opponent. So that's all LA can hope for in game 2, because they should be embarrassed right now.
An 8-1 lead, and we've got 18.5 minutes left to go in this game. And yes, we're running through the record books, folks. We'll pass along all the questions, all the answers you have to the questions I know are going on in your mind. First of which is the playoff record for most points in a playoff game is 8, set by Patrick Sundstrom and Mario Lemieux back in 88 and 89, respectively. Another assist for Courtnall on that last goal. He is now up to a 6-point game, too shy of the record. The goal at 16 seconds was Hull from Rayoum and Turgeon. At 1:08, Dimitra from Campbell and Courtnall. Dimitra's got 2 goals in this game. Pronger moves it in. Sends it around the far side, Murray. Murray pinned up on the boards over there by Terry Yake. Deflected back to Pronger. Shot. Jamie Storr makes the save, and he'll get the whistle. Courtnall, 6 points, a new Blues playoff record for most points in a single game.
And he is one of the unrestricted free agents that the Blues have. All their big-name people, Duchesne, Brett Hull, Al McInnes are unrestricted free agents. He's one, and he hasn't been negotiating with the Blues. He wasn't even negotiating with them up until the end of the season. But I'll tell you what, anybody out there that's got a bit of spare change hanging around their pockets that needs a clutch guy, Jeff is your man.
There is brother Russ talking with Russ this morning. He talked to his teammates, the Kings, about an article in the paper today featuring a lot of quotes from Brett Hull about how this team was united, how Hull didn't mind having scored fewer goals than ever so long as he could get assists. Chase behind the net. Kelly Chase probably is going to see more ice time in this third period than he's seen all year in a game.
Yeah, I mean, now Joel Quenneville can just roll the lines. He doesn't even have to worry too much about the Pronger matchup against Stumble because Stumble's been invisible.
Yannick Perreault back in for the Kings. Dropped it down low. Shot up. Score! So the Kings at least are not going to go away quietly as Glenn Murray, their leading goal scorer, gets the second for the Kings to make it an 8-2 game against Grant Fuhr.
Yeah, and a real good shot. I mean, this guy's got deceptive speed. For a big man, Glenn Murray is faster than he looks. And it was Yannick Perreault that set him up. Perreault was out there at center instead of Stumple. Grant Fuhr won't like that goal because he gave him a little too much on the short side. He will not like that. Grant Fuhr can't stand short side goals or goals that go through him when he thinks he's in a good position and something just kind of finds its way through a leaky little hole down low. He hates goals like that.
While Grant Fuhr had a .307 goals against on the road, which was the 7th worst in the league. At home, he had a .219, which was the 10th best. He's given up 2 here in this one, and we're in the third period. And it's St. Louis putting the hit on. Todd Gill went over and put that shot on Matt Johnson.
Yeah, and you know what? Todd Gill, I think, has had the most effective hitting game of any player in this tilt tonight. 5 or 6 times he has leveled big hits on Kings players, sometimes when they don't even expect it. And Todd Gill is not that big a guy. Todd Gill is 185 pounds, and Matt Johnson is 6'5", 230 pounds. Todd Gill gave away 45 pounds on that exchange and just took him out and down.
Here's the shot by Gill. It's the Kings who are trailing 8-2, but it's St. Louis who knows where the jugular vein is. Third period goals by St. Louis at 16 seconds, 1:08 and 3:19. That last one, Murray's first this year, 11th of his career. Yannick Perreault for Los Angeles. That made it an 8-2 game. St. Louis had scored 6 straight goals before that goal by Murray, who put LA up on the board for the second time. So St. Louis on top here with 16 minutes left to go in the third period. Chased down by O'Donnell back in his own end. shots here in this game are 34 to 24. St. Louis just made them count. That's what's happened in this game. 2 goaltenders have been in for Los Angeles. Jamie Storr in there now. Stefan Fiset gave up the first 5 goals. And Fiset has had the last 3 scored against him. Robitaille drops it back into his own end. Intercepted Pavel Demitra. Dimitra's got 2 goals. Campbell's got 2 and tried to tip it in for the hat trick right there. Jimmy Campbell off the near side. L.A. able to move it up and out. Craig Johnson. Johnson will dump that one in wide. The 8 goals for St. Louis ties a Blues record for the most goals in a playoff game. They did that twice previously. Back in '95, the last time when they beat Vancouver by a score of 8-2. Randy Andreichuk, you deserve the mention tonight because, baby, you are filing fingers down going through that record book. Courtnall off the glass and up to the point. Shot there, Stumple, and Brandfuhr's got it and hangs on.
Don't use all your good stuff, Randy. We got a lot more games in this series to go.
Finally, a little heat down low. As Johnson, for the second time, got banged in front of the net.
That's Craig Johnson that time. A couple of unrelated Johnsons, Matt Johnson and Craig Johnson, and this is the smaller of the 2, although he's no midget.
St. Louis apparently is going to draw the only penalty here on that action taking place in front of the net.
Well, Larry Robinson's learning a lot about his team. He's got a half-dozen guys in the lineup that are experiencing their first NHL playoff action. He's trying to figure out who's a player, who isn't a player. And while he's doing that down below, well, he's probably looking up right there at his general manager, Dave Taylor, the man on the left sitting in partial darkness. That's Dave leaning over there. I mean, you know, they're trying to figure out stuff. I mean, Dave Taylor's looking at players and assessing for the offseason, for trades, and for next season. And a tough start for Stéphane Fiset, who came down the stretch not playing very well. I think he played pretty darn well in this hockey game. Maybe could have stopped a couple, but the way St. Louis came at him and without the protection that he needed, he didn't have much of a chance.
Courtnall got the penalty, and it was a roughing call at 4:59. This will be power play number 6 now for the Kings. Short-handed Scott Pellerin will flip it in. As was anticipated, St. Louis has used their power play effectively, going 3 for 6. The Kings have not converted in their first 5 chances on the power play. They've got their 6th chance right here. Take a look at our Molson Ice League leaderboard. These are players who have led their teams in goals scored for consecutive seasons. Gordie Howe all-time with 11. Hull had 10. Mike Bossy had 10 with the Islanders. And Brett Hull had led St. Louis 9 consecutive seasons, but that ended this year.
Brett Hull says he doesn't care. And Jeff Courtnall is a happy guy because for the first time in 5 seasons, Jeff Courtnall at age 35 hit the 30-goal plateau. You say that timing is everything in life? How about being an unrestricted free agent, leading your team in goal scoring?
It's the chicken and egg question. Which came first? Knowing you were going to be a free agent and the goals, or the goals and you were going to be a free agent? GMs would love to know the answer to that question in all sports. At the other end, Jamie Storr. Gary Galley takes it back in behind the net. Power play underway here for the Kings. They've got 1:14 left on it. Intercepted Turcotte. We'll send that one the length of the ice. Los Angeles. Power play opportunity down in the game 8-2. First of the best of 7 with the first 2 games to be played here at the Kiel Center in St. Louis. Far side, Nordstrom brought it in. Nordstrom got tied up. Robitaille. Robitaille turning back. Robitaille looking, had nobody set up in front. Sent on the hard wraparound by Craig Johnson. Picked up by Galley. Back for Robitaille. Johnson came in to help. Got tied up by Aki Berg of L.A. and it's cleared out. St. Louis got it out of there.
You know, the tough thing for Los Angeles, too, is that we mentioned their big problem in the power play is bringing the puck up ice and getting set up. They haven't had any problem doing that in this hockey game, and they still haven't been able to generate anything.
And they're offside, but they thought they were. There was no whistle. They thought they were offside, stopped playing. There wasn't a call. Johnson sends it around. Held in over there by Vopat. Vopat along the boards. It's loose. Stumple, McGinnis. Turcotte couldn't get it out of there. Kings power play deflected off Robitaille in front on the shot by Greg Johnson. Held in again by Vopat. Back to him at the point. Intercepted. Al McGinnis. McGinnis trying to get it out. Can't. Turcotte couldn't get a whack at it. Held in by Johnson. Los Angeles trying to get one. Power plays over. Center down low. Open shot. Score! Robitaille. While he was going down on the ice, he put that one up over the left shoulder. And a power play It's an even strength goal, but it's 8-3 now Blues.
Well, and I'll tell you what the Kings did was they were able to set up and keep the Blues pinned in, and they really tired him out. Al McInnes was really at the end of a shift and got caught way up high. See number 2 up there? That's Al McInnes. He's supposed to be a defenseman back down low, and when they moved the puck in, Al McInnes was able to at least get back in, try to take a stab at the guy along the boards, but didn't work. Then there was double coverage on Yannick Perreault. Good finish by Luc Robitaille. Real good finish.
And it's an 8-3 game. It is an even strength goal as the penalty had expired. So the Kings try to find something to build on here. Courtnall had a chance. That one knocked away by Grant Fuhr in a second effort. Hang on. Penalty coming up. And the Los Angeles Kings are going to go right back on the power play. 12:36 left to go in this game. Mentioned earlier, sometimes you get these huge leads and it's just tough to keep your mind in the game. St. Louis has got that big lead. And gets the tripping call at 7:24. Power play number 7 now for the Kings, who are 0 for 6. Yannick Perreault and Conroy will take the face-off. Last 2 goals scored by the Kings, and a whistle on the far side, and another penalty. An interference call, I think, coming on Los Angeles. Robitaille scored at 7:05. Vopat and Stumple. 47th career playoff goal for Robitaille, but the Kings commit a, well, even if it's 8-3, it's still a bad penalty.
Well, being a penalty killer when I played being a center, I love these calls when they happen. Right there you'll see Yannick Perreault. He won the draw, but then Conroy went around him to try to get out to the point, and Perreault tripped him up on the way. And now that's part of the new rule in the NHL. I'm not talking about a rule in the rule book, but the way the referees are ruling the game, and that is an obstruction penalty. The puck was away from the face-off circle, and Perreault tried to delay him, but he tripped him. Can't do that. I like that call.
They got 3 seconds worth of power play time, the Kings did. Now sticks get upside of the net as Pronger and Courtnall were there. Skate 4-on-4 here with the Blues leading at 8-3. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs here on ESPN will continue for you tomorrow at 7:30. Coyotes will be at Detroit, game 2. Detroit leading 1-0. They won the first one 6-3. Joey Kocur, 2 goals. Saturday, Kings, Blues, right back here. Game 2 of this series, we'll have it for you 7:30 Eastern time on Saturday. Here's Blake's shot. That one deflected to the near side, did not end up on net. St. Louis shorthanded, cleared out. Hockeyberg knocks it down over to Blake. Blake's got to turn back. Turgeon was on him. Nathan Lafayette dropped it off. Comes near side. Kings get onside. Berg left it on the short pass. Pronger on the spin around takes away the puck up for Hull. And Turgeon will move it out. Turgeon coming. Turgeon with Duchesne on the left, Hull on the right. Poke checked away from him. Russ Courtnall turns it the other way. Russ Courtnall, 32-year-old veteran leading the charge here. Return pass Duchesne was there. Duchesne, Turgeon. Turgeon will rag back over to Pronger. Pronger with 11:42 to go here in the period. Both teams make changes on the fly, kicked away along the blue line. St. Louis getting their penalty killers wrapped up here, and that one touched up by Courtnall on the offside. And the face-off will be at center ice. And a 4-on-4 setting here. Not a power play at the moment. Be another. In fact, there's only a chance for a 3-second power play if these penalties stay as they are.
4-on-4 gives Jeff Courtnall a little more room. He's just circling like a shark out there looking for more points. Grant Fuhr once was a Los Angeles King, and that was probably the low point of his career. He went from Buffalo to Los Angeles, and his record in 14 games with LA, 1-7-3 with an inflated goals against average. And then Mike Keenan said, you know what, I still believe. Mike Keenan was right.
Mike Keenan takes a lot of bad raps here, obviously, in St. Louis, because things went disastrously for him. But Grant Fuhr is not one of those disasters. Right back up on the near side. Murray dropped it off. That one almost tipped. Not quite. Stump will reach for it. Couldn't quite get it. Still a 4-on-4. Near side, Dimitra. Dimitra, couple of goals. Campbell, couple of goals for St. Louis. Doesn't get a chance at hat tricks. Pavel Dimitra will send it deeper into his own end here. Kings will change it up behind the play. Los Angeles on the road, a game below 500 during the regular season, while St. Louis was outstanding here at home. They won only 17 games here last year. They won 26 at home this year. Second highest win total at home, knocked away by Jamie Score.
That looked like it either dropped or changed directions. That long blast by Al McInnes.
Thomas has got that great rocket shot. There's a lot of action on the puck. Big hit put on the near side boards by Lafayette on Campbell. Campbell's up and is all right. Sent in wide. Grant Fuhr goes behind the net to get it. All the penalties are over. Back to 5-on-5. Yannick Perreault had it tipped away. Blues able to clear it up. Out of the zone. Terry Yake got it out of there. Set up O'Donnell. Near side for Siplikov, intercepted offside. Campbell rifled that one from the blue line, but offside on the Blues. The Las Vegas Senior Classic Golf Tournament coming up. True Green Chemlon presents it tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Hal Irwin returning to defend the title. This year's participants: Jim Colbert, Raymond Floyd, Chichi Rodriguez, Gibby Gilbert. They've all won the tournament at least once. You'll see it on ESPN 3 o'clock tomorrow.
There's Yannick Perreault, the second line center. Joseph Stumple has really not done anything in this hockey game. Yannick Perreault has been a little more visible, but Larry Robinson down the stretch even publicly challenged Yannick Perreault to compete more regularly, harder, game in, game out, and compete with passion, because he felt that wasn't there. So Larry Robinson has really pulled out all the stops. When Larry Robinson goes public like that, you know he's tried just about everything.
And it hasn't worked here in this game with the 8-3 lead for the Blues. Back in behind the net, McAlpine. 5-on-5 situation here. Back out the center. Kings getting back onside off the near side boards. Just knocked away by Scott Pellerin. Tic-tac at center. Hits are picking up. Johnson took the shot on the near side at McAlpine, and then McAlpine got run. Penalty coming up. Steve McKenna came over and ran McAlpine. That's going to be the penalty, a delayed call. Grant Fuhr heads to the bench. Extra man out for St. Louis. Deflected in behind the net on the touch by Jamie Storr. The whistle will come, and so will a St. Louis power play.
Well, yeah, McKenna's the guy that's going to go on. But you know who St. Louis has really targeted? The biggest, toughest, shouldn't say the biggest, McKenna's the biggest, but the toughest LA player. Mentioned Matt Johnson, number 17, at 6'5", 230 pounds, and every time he has carried the puck or been near it, either Todd Gill, this time Chris McAlpine, everybody, there's Matt Johnson, they have just run at him. I mean, that is the story of this hockey game. LA did not establish their hitting game at all. The St. Louis Blues have out hit them. Here's Matt Johnson, and here comes McAlpine. Good, clean, hard hit. Then McKenna came in to rough him up. Well, I tell you what, there's some big bodies in there. Some big bodies mixed up.
Anything even remotely close to a penalty, Terry Gregson's going to call here because of the potential for a game to get out of hand. Steve McKenna, the elbowing, comes at 10:41. It'll be the 8th power play of the game for the St. Louis Blues with 9:19 remaining to go here in the third period.
How big do you think Steve McKenna's hands are to have that much tape on the end of his stick, on the knob of his stick? 14-inch long fingers.
Tough to buy winter gloves. Here comes McGinnis. The shot and the save made. Jamie Storr wasn't quite sure where that puck had gone, but he had it locked between the pads on the McGinnis blast. And boy, that is scary for a goaltender to see McGinnis get that close for a wind-up shot.
And Al McInnes, when he takes something off it, if he takes a look, as he did there, knows where he's shooting. He just didn't blast there. He was either going high, or at least to the short side, or for the 5-hole, because he took a peek and took something off it to try to get a little more accuracy.
36-27 the shots in favor of the Blues, who have the big 8-3 lead in this game. Cleared to center. McGinnis comes back to get it on the power play. McGinnis off the boards. Penalty killers changing up for the Kings behind the play. Rayoum dumped it into the zone. Cleared up but not out. Duchesne held it into Turgeon. Hull out there on the power play along that far side. McGinnis along the blue. Duchesne. Steve Duchesne shot through the screen. Deflected. Empty net. Turned on. Not out. Rayoum shot. Save made by Storr, who's not getting much help from his Kings skaters in front of him.
Oh, what a great play by Pierre Turgeon. I mean, he actually had to lunge forward to make sure that he tipped that to Pascal Rayoum, who was standing between the hash marks. I've been really impressed with how hard Pierre Turgeon has worked in this hockey game, and he has taken a beating to do it. He had a busted forearm this season, and he missed a whole bunch of games. He has not been afraid to stand in front, to dig into the trenches. Here was the action in front. Rayoum banged away at it. Watch Turgeon. He dove, tipped it back to Rayoum, and Jamie Storr had to make a good save. But Pierre Turgeon, while he is slick, has given an equal amount of effort tonight to match how slick and how good he is with a puck.
Power play still underway for another minute. St. Louis. Up the near side, Courtnall. And whistled on the offside. Face-off will be back out at center ice. We'll be right back here on Saturday. It will be interesting to see how the Kings respond. I've got a sense they've got to change their whole direction. They intended to forecheck St. Louis and prevent the transition game. They weren't even close doing that. They may have to back up and trap at center and hope to do it that way.
Well, I saw them trapping in the first period, and while they put up that big forecheck game plan, I think that was kind of a smokescreen, because Larry Robinson knows he can't compete offensively, and he knows that Duchesne and McInnes and Pronger will jumpstart that rush with that big first pass. I don't think he has an option but to try to trap, and I saw him try to do that in the first period, but they just fell apart. They got caught in between. The very first play of the game, McInnes beat the trap that they were trying to set up for the first goal.
He had a rink-wide pass that created that odd-man rush for the first goal. Simplicott for the Kings trying to clear. Got it by Campbell and out. Pronger comes back to get it. 7:43 left to go here in the third period. 20 left on the power play. Courtnall centered. Dimitra, not quite. He tried to pass far side. Gill on the near side to Pronger. Pronger, his wrister blocked out deep, short-handed, 2-on-1 opportunity the other way. Courtnall in, whistle. Whistle behind the play on the offside.
No, there's a penalty.
Penalty coming up. They had a 2-on-1 short-handed. That was whistled because of a penalty behind the play, and then players got to chatting at the other end.
There's Matt Johnson as he glares out onto the ice. And there was that man Gilligan, as opposed to Gilligan. Todd Gill again. He was in the middle of it on the ice. I didn't see it, Gary. There was a 2-on-1 I was watching because I thought it was an offside, as you did. But behind the play, Todd Gill was involved in something else again.
Well, we got a roughing and a couple of roughings, it looks like here. Amazing that this has not heated up more in the physical department. These teams had 13 fights in the 4 games they played during the regular season, especially the last one where the Blues won at 7-3. Big fisticuff game, but in this one that has not happened. Blues have the 8-3 lead.
Here's what happened at the other end. It was a blocked shot. Chris Pronger tried to get it to the net, but it was nicely blocked. But then, you know what? The 2 players for the Kings that went on that rush looked at one another, and I'm sure they were saying, what the hell? I wasn't offside. Were you offside?
They each thought the other was. There's Kelly Chase hollering at the Kings bench and pointing at the scoreboard, rubbing in the 8-3 lead they have. 12:34 the time of the penalties. Gill for boarding. Russ Courtnall for roughing. They will be matching minors, so the Kings still will be shorthanded for another 7 seconds on the penalty that was already being served. And the face-off will come just inside the St. Louis line.
Correction on the penalties. Should be the opposite way.
5-on-4 still for St. Louis. Chase is out there. O'Donnell on the near side with him, chatting away. And they separate mildly with no incident there. Right back up to the far side. Turcotte. Now Perreault runs him into the bench. Good check on him. Far side. Spun around Chase. Chase is ready to go. Throws a punch. Chase threw a punch at Nordstrom. And now we've got a couple going as Sean O'Donnell gets into it.
Yeah. Well, there's no way Nordstrom is going to go with Kelly Chase, but I think Chase did that to flush somebody else out of the bushes. And it was Sean O'Donnell who is going to wade in there against anybody. He's a big, tough guy for the LA Kings. And Kelly Chase took a shot, I think, at Nordstrom just to have somebody else come at him because he wanted somebody.
179 at penalty minutes during the season for O'Donnell. The undressed Kelly Chase had 231 penalty minutes.
And boy, do they love him here in St. Louis. I mean, not just because of the way he plays on the ice, but the way he is off the ice. He's one of the most gregarious guys, one of the most community-minded guys, and he is truly a favorite here in St. Louis. So, we kind of expected it to get nasty. Kind of surprised it took this long. But stay in one place long enough, it'll happen.
Expected to be a good playoff game, and that one is. This one, if you're the Blues, it's been a great playoff game. 8-3. They've got the lead here, and the fisticuffs being sorted out and penalties will be assigned here by Terry Gregson. All the teams now in action in the Stanley Cup playoffs for this season. You see in the Western Conference, Dallas, the favorite, heavy favorite against San Jose, won. Edmonton upset Colorado in a come-from-behind win, and Detroit, surprisingly, I think, winning that one against Phoenix 6-3. Not that they won it, but the way they did it. And St. Louis, LA playing here tonight. In the Eastern brackets, the upsets, wow. Ottawa really outplayed New Jersey in that game. Brodeur was magnificent, but Ottawa took the lead in that one on a 2-1 win. Pittsburgh, Montreal playing tonight. Montreal leading 2-1 there. Buffalo, even though they are the underdog in that 6th seed, a lot of people have picked an upset here, and they indeed won that first game. And Washington over Boston in their first game of the best of 7. So there you go. We'll continue our coverage on ESPN and, of course, on the Deuce right into the Stanley Cup Finals. 7:08 left to go here in the third period. We'll get you updated on the calls here, but what we're going to end up with is a 5-on-5. So nobody gets an advantage. If you're wondering, the most goals one team has ever scored in a playoff game, the Edmonton Oilers, with that great offensive unit. They had 13 goals in one game against Los Angeles. They beat them 13-3 back in 1987 in the playoffs. The most combined goals in a game, a playoff game, 18. LA again involved against Edmonton. LA beat them 10-8 back in 1982, and Grant Fuhr was in net for Edmonton in that game. Not likely to reach those marks here in this one. Turcotte able to hold it in, sends it back, comes off the dasher. Jamie score reach, could not get to it. Another penalty coming up. Gregson's got to call him close here, and he's gonna. He doesn't want anything else busting out here with 6:33 left to go. So we'll get more, at least one more penalty. It's going to be a roughing call, and it's going to be against the Kings. So St. Louis is going to get another power. The Kings, who did not beat St. Louis in the regular season, losing 3, tying 1. They're going to lose this one. Bortnall, a goal and 5 assists, setting a new Blues record for points in a playoff game. He was all over the ice tonight in this game for St. Louis, continuing a fine regular season, which he had 31 goals, finishing 15th among goal scorers in the National Hockey League. Now they're going to change the clock here, putting it up to 22 seconds. So they've got that corrected. And let's count the numbers for 5-on-4. Power play for the St. Louis Blues. Off the face-off, near side, Portnoy. Turgeon's heading to the middle. He's got a chance with a power play. Dimitra trying to set him up. Nathan Lafayette turns it up ice. Everybody checking the clock here. Lafayette sends it. Pronger intercepts, and game 1 heading to the record books as the St. Louis Blues defeat the Los Angeles Kings by a score of 8-3 and take a 1-0 lead in this series. For Bill Clement and all of our crew, Gary Thorne, the final. Blues 8, Kings 3.